What if the reason you're stuck is because too many people know what you're building? What if the noise, the opinions, the pressure, all of it, is slowing you down more than you realize? The truth is, sometimes the most powerful move you can make isn't to go louder, it's to go missing. No updates, no announcements, just progress in silence. Because if they can't find you, they can't limit you. There's a cost to being seen too early. Every time you speak your next move out loud, you invite opinions. You invite noise. You give people a chance to measure you before you're finished becoming. And in that measurement, you start shrinking. You start adjusting. You start performing. You begin to live in reaction to expectations instead of creation. What started as a personal mission becomes a public negotiation, and somewhere along the way, you forget who you're doing it for. Visibility is vulnerability when you're still becoming. It invites people to plant doubt in the soil you're trying to grow from. Their fear becomes your hesitation. Their projections become your ceiling. They don't even have to say it out loud. A look, a pause, a joke. That's all it takes to make you question what you knew in silence. But here's the thing. You don't owe anyone access to your becoming. Some journeys are meant to be private. Some power is meant to be built in isolation. The world has tricked you into believing that constant visibility is value, that unless you're posting about it, sharing it, documenting every step of it, it's not real. But the truth is, the loudest path is rarely the most dangerous one. Real growth doesn't scream, it whispers. And when you finally step into that silence, when you finally stop explaining, proving, and broadcasting, that's when the real work begins. This isn't about hiding. It's about protecting. Protecting your vision. Protecting your momentum. Protecting your name from being attached to things you're not finished shaping yet. Because once you let the world in too early, it will try to define you before you've even decided who you are. So, disappear. Not to avoid life, but to build one that no one sees coming. Move so differently that by the time they look for you, you're already somewhere they can't reach. No updates, no validation, just proof. Because power isn't loud. Power is intentional. And if they can't find you, they can't study you. They can't slow you down. They can't sabotage what they don't even see coming. Let them wonder. Let them assume. Let them talk. You're not here to be understood. You're here to become undeniable. Silence has a rhythm. At first, it feels like emptiness, like you're missing out, like the world is moving without you and you're being left behind. But if you sit in it long enough, something shifts. You stop needing the noise. You stop reaching for opinions. You start hearing your own voice again, not the one filtered through fear or comparison, but the one buried under years of distraction. That's the voice that builds. That's the one that's been waiting. Most people can't handle this part, the part with no spotlight, no applause, no reassurance. Just you, the work, and the long stretch of time where it looks like nothing's happening. But what they don't understand is that this is where everything happens. This is where discipline replaces dopamine, where consistency becomes currency, where you train, refine, sharpen, without the world watching, without anyone clapping, without any guarantee. And that's what makes it dangerous, because in the silence, you stop performing and start becoming. You stop outsourcing validation and start earning self-respect. Your vision gets clearer, your time gets tighter, and your tolerance for anything unnecessary drops to zero. You don't have time to explain yourself. You don't feel the need to prove anything anymore. The mission is loud enough inside your head. That's more than enough. You wake up earlier not because you want to, but because your future depends on it. You train harder, work smarter, stay locked in, because you know no one's coming to save you. No one's clapping for you. No one's checking on you. And that used to scare you. But now it frees you, because you've stopped living for updates. You're too busy building the kind of life that doesn't need to be posted about to be real. You realize something else too. The silence isn't empty. It's pure. It's honest. It strips everything away until only the real remains. Your habits, your mindset, your focus, your integrity. All of it becomes visible when there's no one to impress but yourself. And that's what makes the build so powerful, because it doesn't just create results, it forges identity. This is the phase where most people quit. Not because it's too hard, but because it's too quiet. Because no one sees the reps. Because progress feels invisible. But that's the point. You're becoming someone different. And when you come back, you won't need to say a word. The way you walk, the way you speak, the way you move, it'll all say, I didn't disappear to hide. I disappeared to rise. The build is lonely. It's heavy, but it's pure. And if you can survive it, the world won't see you coming. There's a moment that comes after the work, after the silence, after the lonely mornings and invisible nights. It's not a grand entrance. It's not an announcement. It's not fireworks or confetti. It's quiet, like everything else you've done, but it's sharp, clean, unmistakable. It's the moment you re-enter the world not as who you were, but as who you've become. You don't need to post about it. You don't need to explain it. You don't even need to warn them, because it's in how you move now. It's in the way you speak less, but say more. It's in the confidence that doesn't ask to be seen. It just is. You didn't come back for validation. You came back to collect, not attention, results. The beauty of disappearing is that no one knows what you're cooking. No one knows the hours, the pain, the breakthroughs. They don't see the sweat behind your stillness. They don't hear the storms you've learned to stay calm in. But now that you're here, walking through the rooms they tried to lock you out of, there's nothing left to say. Because you didn't ask to be let in. You built your own door, your own table, your own rhythm. And now they hear the footsteps they forgot to prepare for. That's what real power looks like. It's not how loud you can be. It's how far you can go without needing applause. Most people burn out before they ever become who they were meant to be because they confuse noise with progress. They want to be seen so badly that they abandon the quiet path that actually builds something real. But you chose different. You chose stillness, focus, mastery. And now you're untouchable. Not because you're perfect, but because you no longer need to be seen to feel solid. Your self-worth is no longer tied to attention. Your confidence is no longer dependent on reaction. You've learned that the strongest presence doesn't need presence at all, because the work speaks, the mindset speaks, the discipline speaks. You've become the ghost they couldn't figure out, the blueprint they can't copy, the force they can't predict. And by the time they realize what you were doing in the dark, it's already too late. You're too far gone, too built, too sharp, too focused, too free. You didn't disappear to hide. You disappeared to unlimit yourself. And now you've returned as someone they can't touch, because they can't find you. And if they can't find you, they can't limit you.